Now, Richard, let me start with you. I know you want to talk hospitality, and there's one question that's been in my head in the last couple of hours, and I really wanted to ask you that. International hotel brands, they often serve as a confidence for many investors. What needs to happen for Angola to attract more these type of investors, and how to proceed with their very ambitious plans when it comes to this?
Well, it's both ways. First, thank you for having me here. Number two, excuse me if I'll be repeating some of the information you received today. I've already prepared some answers that might look repetitive. For international brands, it's two ways. They serve the investors and they serve the consumer trust. A new destination needs to have a mix of both. Investors that believe that by adding and bringing an international flag and a knowledgeable operator with the expertise they bring, they add value to the assets, they plug into an international distribution, and they're able as well to serve a consumer trust. Anyone starting a new destination that is not yet popular on the international landscape of tourism would need this trust. When you travel to a new city, you first look at brands that you recognize. You know that you will have an experience that is with a good standard to a great standard, versus later at phase two, the local brands can play at the same field. The second part is related to financials. International brands need to be paid on time in hard currency as well. For them, they look as well that their local developer understands. The local policies support that. We know that in some other countries there are difficulties in that. And when all the elements are and the stakeholders are aligned, we will see more and more international players in the market.
Alberto, your area of expertise is infrastructure. We talked a lot about it. How can infrastructure actually promote tourism in Angola? Let me start first with that, and then I'll come to specific points of their plan.
Okay, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I really believe that infrastructure is a huge pillar to start deploying and scaling tourism in a country. But before going there, I really think that it's something that you have it or not, and you need to bring tourists to Angola and to a country. You need to be sexy and attractiveness to the tourists, right? So before you can have all the infrastructures that you want, but you need to have it in the soul of the country. Professionally, I had the opportunity, this amazing opportunity to be based in Angola for 2 decades, almost 2 decades from now. So it was great being part of this path that Angola is doing. If I recall that time, the tourism in Angola was mainly business tourism, mainly in Luanda. I had the opportunity to travel a lot, professionally and personally speaking, in Angola. I always have the opportunity, when I have the opportunity, I always go with my 4-wheel drive car and my fishing rods to the provinces in Angola. It's a country that I really love. As we say locally, Angola cuida muito. So we have it in the soul. And thank you. And really, it's amazing. In Angola, you have it all. You have people, you have culture, and you have landscape and sightseeing that can blow your mind. So the infrastructure is the easiest part. So speaking about the infrastructure, and it's very important, you have different layers of infrastructure. One is the baseline, to have nice tourism infrastructures that allows you to receive many tourists, as we spoke in the previous panel about hotels, and we are speaking now. Before that, you need to have the first layer of infrastructures. You need to have health infrastructures to attend people. You need to have energy, you need to have water, you need to have education to promote and develop the teams and the employers that will work in tourist sectors. So I think that Angola is doing it very aggressive and in an impactful way. As Mitrelli, we are glad to be part of that path, to be partners of the government for more than 3 decades in Angola and in Africa, to think, promote, implement and finance different projects across all these sectors that I spoke, and tourism as well.
Richard, Aventra Hospitality has worked across multiple markets. When international hotel groups come to a country and they want to assess, is it a good investment or is it not? What is the key factor that are influencing their decision and their future behavior on that market?
Basically, most international brands are not investing directly in a brand in asset. They are asset light. Not everyone like TUI comes along with some skin in the game. So most operators, the big 5, usually come and try to find the right partner who understands the type of asset they're developing. The hospitality asset is usually more of a long-term than a normal other class asset. They understand the complexity of management. That's why they bring an operator. And they understand as well the value of capital gain when they bring an international player. So over the long term, they will see that they have a capital appreciation over the assets. So operationally, they need the partner. And as well, they see that a long-term value, when they need to have an exit, the international brand will bring them added value.
Minister of Tourism of Angola said one very important thing during his speech, Richard. Let me stay a little bit more with you. He said, you're not just building a hotel in Angola. You're not building a resort in Angola. You are being part of a bigger story. You're creating jobs. You're creating different future. How did you find these remarks from your perspective?
That's exceptional. Human capital is extremely important, and we see the abundance of having human capital. We understand as well in our industry, 80% of our task force are not coming from a hotel school. We recruit them for the character, for the attitude, for the positive personality, for the drive for service. So we need hotel schools, but having 2,000, we still need another 10,000 that are coming from a different background. So this exists here. Obviously, there should be as well support from the government to invite in opening of hotels, international task force to elevate setting up the hotels for the first phase and continue the drive with the local task force that exists. But always having international exposure in our industry, it's a global industry, helps as well elevate and interact with the local task force.
Alberto, I do want to mention something very important for all of us here. That's Angola's national plan for tourism. You've been working very closely on that. Can you share with us specific things that they're working on at this point and something that possibly investors should know about, the ones who are listening to us here?
So as I mentioned in my previous answer, I really believe that Angola has it all to develop tourism as a pillar and a strategic sector in the country. Obviously, that if you travel across Angola, you will find that you need to develop connectivity, infrastructures, and if you travel abroad Luanda, not only in Luanda province, then you feel it more. However, I think, and I believe that is a path that the government is doing, and we spoke about it this morning a lot. The Ministry of Tourism has a huge plan to develop. It's Planatur, for instance. Simplifica, I recall that the United Nations representative spoke about it. But if we focus in Planatur, for instance, it's a program that has behind 2.4 billion kwanzas, more or less 3,000 million euros, to invest and to bring new concepts to different sites and locations across the country. And obviously, then you need public and private partnerships to be developed. It's a public plan that is being deployed, and the government is putting a lot of effort on it in order to attract public and private investors to come across the country and to invest in this deployment and bringing the tourism in Angola to a different scale. This is very important, and PPPs, it's the name, so it's important to bring people in order to invest, FDI, be more attractive in the FDI to bring more investors to the country.
Thank you for that. Richard, you know, when I got invited to this conference, and I come from Southeastern Europe, I think I've met only one Bosnian in the last couple of days. I was thinking, how easily could I get there? I was really excited about all these tourism things that I wanted to see, to meet people. So how, and to be fair, coming from Istanbul, it wasn't an easy ride. How significant is for Angola, if they want to achieve these ambitious plans, to work on connectivity and maybe even openness when it comes to visas and other issues? For those who don't know much about this part of the world, let's say.
Well, I'm positively surprised to see that they started. The progress is there, the plans are there, and obviously the airport that is open is ready for creating a connectivity. It's a start. There is a lot needed to have more flights. I believe in order to create a better positioning, being a hub, you need to have, and the best way is to connect the Americas. It's the first countries that you can create a hub to start landing here and reconnect from 1.2 billion, and that's an amazing opportunity for Angola. So once you become a hub, it creates more and more accessibility and more visibility with the visitors. Regarding the e-visa experience, that is one of the most important way. People will not wait for 2 weeks and 3 weeks for getting visas. And again, I understand that 90+ nationalities started getting visas on arrival or previously visa, but there is as well work to improve that, to increase accessibility. Some countries have reached 150, so there's still ways to improve and having more and more access. But these are key aspects today in the traveler of today to have that. The last part is connectivity. We've heard the Minister of Hungary mentioning that the Wi-Fi, the roaming, the way that you link, today's traveler has to have a 24 access, and this is extremely important to create that. And these are some of the easy fixes that will help travelers.
I have one question for both of you at the end. Now, 20% of world's population is Africa, and only 5% of the world tourism is African. How to, in your opinion, from your areas of expertise, when we look at the region itself, how to change these numbers in the near future? And we keep talking, the future of Africa is now. Are we living that moment? Are we coming close to change those numbers?
I really believe that it will change in the near future. It's a process. Half of the tourists, as a number, are traveling to Europe, more than a half. And only 5%, as you mentioned, to Africa. If you have the opportunity to travel beside Angola, we're talking about Botswana, Tanzania, Namibia, South Africa, you can see that you have a lot of places and lovely places to visit. I think that the world is changing, as we heard a lot this morning, people saying the world is changing. And I really believe that people are starting to go and to pursue different experience. And Africa has it in its soul. And I really believe that it will be a process, but we will get there. And a process because obviously it's a path that we need to develop. As I mentioned before, you have a first layer of infrastructures that needs to be developed. And Angola and the other countries in Africa are doing this process. One more developed than others, but it's a process. And obviously the second layer is bring in new investors, have nice hotels, nice lodge, nice roads, nice airports, nice health care services in the country. So I really believe that we are getting there because Africa has it in its soul. It's sexy for tourists. And I really believe that once we have the infrastructures in the first layer and the second layer that I told you, we will get there.
Richard, same question.
I believe the landscape of Africa is the biggest opportunity, the abundance of natural resources. And when I talk about natural resources, I'm not referring to gold and oil. I'm referring to nature. Is the biggest asset to build on and to have a future, and to marry that with the trend that people are looking for experiential travel and not the traditional visit of cities and the historical that they have. Adding that Africa has built more and more stability. For 100 years, we've seen a lot of government instability, and hence this has led to the small 5%. With the stability of the government, accessibility, reputation, what there is to offer in Africa is money can't buy. So it's exceptional. It's a heritage that they got. I recommend that sustainability is a key part of the strategy to preserve what they have as natural resources, and they have an amazing future.
Thank you. Thank you to both. I don't have any more questions. I just want to share one thing that, because when you said it has soul, I posted one video of me with traditional dancers. I think like 20 people asked me about Angola. It's such an attractive location for many people. Maybe you don't know, but I wanted to share that from my part of the world. Thank you for sharing this with us, and thank you all. I'll give the floor to Laura now. Thank you, Richard, and Alberto one more time.